Hey, 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 welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time watching, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and know every time I come live. Hi, Giovanni. So right now we're going to be doing a ClairTarot reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, also for your cross watchers. Now, if you find yourself on this video and you don't have any Cancer in your chart, you're not cross watching, but for whatever reason, you find yourself really resonating, it's somehow describing your journey, you probably aren't here by accident. Hi, Jessica and Annette. Your soul probably guided you here to help you get the messages it's been trying to give you. So I've pulled half the card, more than half the cards already. I'm just going to pull one final deck. Woo-hoo. It's already starting off. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, Cancer. You guys have really had some intense readings for quite some time now. All the Cancers I know are amazing. I have Cancer in my chart. What the hell is going on with the Cancer collective? Yeah, what the hell is going on? A lot of insane energies, not necessarily from Cancer. I guess for some Cancers it is them, but a lot of insane energies going around. So let us begin. Here goes. Okay. So Cancer, here's one thing that you guys really do need to begin looking at within yourselves. Card number 36, the past. If you continue to look at the past, you will be so fixated on events that they're already done. So all of your energy will be focused on something that you can't change. There will be nothing left within you to affect some kind of positive change in your life moving forward. If you are still fixated on the past, you have to begin the steps that heal the wounds that cause you to fixate on that portion of your journey. Okay? So because the energy has been directed in a different way, you're kind of facing a standstill. Okay, card number 52, standstill. This is about you allowing yourself permission to quiet down. And I know a lot of Cancers do this. I do this as well. You don't really voice it to other people because heaven forbid Cancer inconvenience the people they love. I do this too. Instead, you keep it pretty quiet and you beat yourself up. You know, you really go at it. You really, really dig into yourself about all these things that you shoulda, woulda, coulda done, but unfortunately you can't. Not anymore. So there's no point in wasting all of that energy, investing it into something that you know won't go anywhere. Okay? So now, Serpent of Fire, Priestess of the Serpent Sisterhood. Ooh, it seems like you're being initiated into higher levels of consciousness, but you can't do that as long as you're chained to an event, a singular event in the past. That's what's causing a standstill. Okay? You're unable and unwilling to let go of a singular moment in the past. Let's see. Wait, what? Hold on. All right. Serpent of Fire. Isis, Priestess of the Serpent Sisterhood and Queen of the Serpent of Fire, guides you through transformation now as your energy field grows stronger and old energies are burned away in the process of your growth. Trust that you are growing and are more capable than you have been previously. Do not assess your current ability based on past standards as they no longer apply to you. Let me reread that. Do not assess your current ability based on past standards as they no longer apply to you. For some of you, this is tied to moving forward in a relationship. Uh, the relationship could be romantic, it can be a platonic friendship, it could be a work relationship. But I'm really being given a strong sense that something failed before. And so since you're still shackled to what had failed previously, probably not even involving the people now, you can't move forward with the people now. You're chained. You have a collar on and you've been tied to the fence. You can't go forward. So recognizing that you actually have opposable thumbs that empower you to remove that collar yourself, to untie whatever is holding you to the gate, now's a good time for you to do that. You're at risk. It feels like you're at risk. Not all cancers, but it feels like some of you are at risk of really repeating that cycle again. Whatever, if it was abuse of some kind, betrayal, abandonment, whatever it is, you're at risk of repeating that again because you have so much invested, so much energy invested in this past event that it's fueling the reemergence, a manifestation. You're bringing it to fruition, okay? You have to trust yourself. You have to trust yourself. Everything in creation has got you. Everything, okay? No, this doesn't necessarily have to be a twin thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be. So, Lady of Swords, are you going to let that go? Are you going to let that bird fly? Or are you going to be so afraid of not being able to survive with the color red that ties to the root chakra? Are you going to go ahead and kill that bird in order to satisfy this intense fear of your inability to survive? You know, what's it going to be? It looks like she cherishes that bird. Take a quick look. It looks like she cherishes that bird. It also looks like she's kind of hungry. So what's going to happen? Which wolf is going to win out? You know, that Native American story about the two wolves. Well, one of you amazing, amazing and beautiful people who join me on my lives pointed out the fact that that's not how the real story goes. That's not a real ending for it. The ending of whichever wolf you feed will become, what wins the fight. Because I was like, I don't know. I'm really in tune with Native peoples, and like that just doesn't resonate. I don't want to correct the natives, but that just doesn't feel right. To me, you would feed both wolves, so there's no need to fight. And one of y'all was like, yeah, that's the actual story. To feed both the white and the black wolf, so both grow strong, and their desire and need to defend their pack and provide and be a very healthy member of that group is established and maintained. And so here it is. Is that you? Is that a fractal of you that you're considering offering up to slaughter? I mean, what is it? Let's see what the card means. A mature and perceptive woman, visionary gifts, perception, subtlety, quickness, accuracy, grace, and wisdom. This describes all the cancers that I know. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially the grace. Woo! Mm-hmm. The subtlety and the way the cancers that I know love on me. Oh my gosh. Love it. I love it. But at the same time, I do recognize every cancer I know either still continues to struggle with this or has struggled quite a bit in their past with this, but they have a tendency to martyr themselves. They have a tendency to overgive and not allow more receiving. They have a tendency to have very unbalanced view of how far they have to go above and beyond what's reasonable for the people they love. So just keep these things in mind. It's definitely not to say that Cancer is wrong or not evolved or any of that. It is to say that Cancer has a few aspects that maybe could benefit from your observation, your detached observation. So card number 6, beauty. Cancer definitely likes to see the beauty in things, the beauty in connections, the beauty in your mess sometimes. I'm getting a message. There's parasitic circumstance, Cancer. There's parasitic circumstance. It shows right here too. So there's a veil that's been placed over your eyes. I've never read this card in this way before. There is a veil that's been placed over your eyes, and this veil was programmed to mimic the energy of Archangel Michael. So for some, this might be intense for some and really insane for others, and maybe for even others it doesn't affect you at all. But for some, the distortion in what you see is very much being created and maintained by parasitic influence. Wow, that's intense. That's intense. Power over 7 scorpions, power to conjure lower vibrational forces. This, you're being tested right now. For those that this is resonating with, you're absolutely being tested. I wouldn't necessarily say everybody that's a Cancer is possessed. That's such a broad statement. But you guys are definitely being tested as a collective energy. Tested to see what you'll choose. For some Cancers, it's about what you'll choose. Will you choose to continue to conduct your spiritual business in methods preferred by the light, or will you choose to conduct your spiritual business in methods that are preferred by the dark? And notice how I say light and dark, not good and bad, not evil. Okay? No matter what you decide, for all parties involved, it's going to lead to growth eventually when each individual chooses to allow themselves to process. But ooh, that's intense. The feeling that I get from this card is that someone, I don't know if this is Cancer or the cross watcher, or it can be switched. The energy is very fluid right now, but someone has been made to feel very diminished, very powerless, and whoever's doing the dominating, it's basically it's like they've caged them. And this, for a moment, her hair accessories looked like keys, like the keys to this person's freedom has been taken away. So again, I don't know if Cancer is the one who is being greatly limited, or if it's Cancer that's doing the limiting of others. Cancer, if you are being limited, choose something different. Choose something different. All right. You don't have to continue with that cycle, I'm hearing, but we've been together for so long. Here's the thing. This is just my personal logic, okay? Doesn't mean anything. This is my personal logic. You don't have to accept this. You don't have to listen to it. Whatever. Doesn't matter. My personal logic. If you've been together 20 years and it's not working out, what is beneficial about staying together for another 40 so it can work out not further for more years. The years that you spent together weren't suddenly wasted just because you end the relationship. The goodness that occurred between the two of you didn't suddenly get negated because at some point after that goodness occurred, some sort of negativity occurred that caused the relationship to end. It didn't suddenly become the most horrible relationship ever. For some, it might feel like that. But the truth is, regardless of how angry you get with someone and that anger causes an end in the relationship, it doesn't take away from the fact that good times have happened. And if no good times ever happened, how did you even get into that relationship in the first place? That's straight up like, I don't know, some kind of trafficking or kidnapping, enslavement, something. I don't know. That's not a relationship. At some point, you chose to be in that union with the individual. So at some point, something shifted. You were no longer aligned. But if you continue, and when you were no longer aligned, you said to yourself, oh, but we've been together for X amount of months or years already. So we'll work it out. Okay. And if you continue saying that, that's how you get from feeling this way at year 2 of the relationship to feeling this way and hopeless and exhausted and drained and just totally ready to give up at year 20. Nothing's changed. See, that's the thing. That's something that some cancers might need to observe for a bit. See if they have a tendency to see what they believe is the best answer, what they believe is a person's potentiality, and then a desire and an attempt to force the person to tap into that potentiality. Some people aren't meant to tap into the potentiality. Some people will choose to avoid their potentiality for the rest of their lives. And I mean, does that make them a bad person? No. No. You're free to do that or free not to. That's the beautiful thing about sovereignty. You get to decide that. And so as you begin really examining your thoughts on all of this, know that if it's difficult, if it's causing muscles to feel exhausted and you're not getting enough sleep and everything's aching, that's an energetic process that you're experiencing. That's part of the ascension process. Oftentimes it's referred to as an energetic detox, and climbing the holy mountain is just like the energetic detox. It's going to be very taxing, but when you get to that sweet location and see the view, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And notice the shadow of the moon and the sun are behind you. Both your light and your dark should work together to support you in your attempt to climb the holy mountain. Okay? So let it. Card number 23, defend to the end the worthwhile. Allow yourself to recognize you are worth the fight. Allow yourself to admit to yourself, no, this relationship, business, friendship, romantic is not worth the fight. This is not worth fighting for. And so it's at that point you're going to free yourself from that mental and emotional shackle. But here's the thing. The moment you free yourself from that mental and emotional shackle, you have to make sure you don't fall into the trap of building walls and towers. So 7 of Shields, success, meetings, discussion, advantage over others, negotiation, and profit. This means you're going to be successful at it. Okay, this definitely means you're going to be successful at it, but you have to allow it to happen. You have to allow this process of transmutation, transformation, self-realization, self-actualization. So card number 49, humor. You have to see the humor in life, the humor in life. For some of you, you've been through so much, and the humor in this is that You're experiencing the really effed up stuff that the effed up people seem to keep getting out of. Let that sink in. I just had the weirdest out of body experience right now. I don't know what I said at all for the past minute, maybe. I felt myself reconnect and I heard myself say, let that sink in. What in the world was that about? Right. Saturn rising. That face was me. What was that about? Ooh, we just gonna laugh that one off. What did I say? Oh my gosh, that is so horrible. Card number 22. She feels, she knows. You have to allow yourself to feel. You have to allow yourself to admit to yourself that you knew whatever this was that was really getting to you, whatever this was that had you chained to the past, it wasn't worth you. It wasn't worth your time. It wasn't worth your energy. It wasn't worth your effort. It just was not worth it. And so refusing to admit, refusing to acknowledge and put into play um, some sort of plan of action to correct the circumstance, the perpetuation of the circumstance. I know it can be embarrassing, but refusing to acknowledge the need to change it, refusing to implement those changes, that's just going to drag out your struggle. Okay. Okay. This is kind of weird. I definitely feel parasitic stuff, a lot of hidden watchers. Um, I will just let you guys know. So I don't know if this is Cancer that's experienced it or Cancer that's doing to it, that's doing it. Cancer, if you are doing this to someone else, I'm not accusing, I'm just saying, and you don't even have to admit. But if you are doing this to someone else, you are tampering with things that you don't quite understand, and I ask you not to do it anymore. Especially with that 1212 portal gaping open, which is probably what's making me go too far astral. You're going to get yourself into a world of hurt if you continue dabbling in dark things. I don't think all cancers are dabbling in dark things. Something doesn't want me to deliver this message. There's dark things being dabbled in. Okay. I don't care who it is. There's dark things being dabbled in. It's been enchanted onto a necklace. And that's not going to stop the reunification of the people that need to be together. It's not going to stop. So Cancer, if it's you that's doing it, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your effort, not going to work. You're not going to stop this. Okay. If someone is doing this to you, Cancer, hang in there. It's going to be negated at some point, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop the reunification of whoever you need to reunite with. All right. I really don't want to. Okay, I'm being told to say this. Being told to say this. If you're having an issue with dark magic circumstance, that is something I could potentially assist with. You can either email my business page, contact@meevolving.com, or you can message me on Facebook or Instagram, and someone from my team, either myself or my assistant or my husband, will tell you how this can work out. I can do unhexing, I can do uncrossing, uncursing, revocation, all of that stuff. I can do purification, but you have to shift whatever degree of positioning you're at that allowed for this circumstance. It has to shift, because if you don't shift it by even just 1 degree, you're going to waste your money. This type of work is not cheap, and whether you can afford it or not, it doesn't sit well with me taking bookings from people knowing that they're not really truly going to utilize what I'm doing, how I'm assisting. So let that just kind of marinate. Are you really ready for it to be done? Is this something you really, really are willing to do your part and shift your mindset, shift the way you see things to not allow this to continue? You know, there's no rush. If you need time to think about it. Um, Although this is my specialty, the parasitic, it's not my favorite field of work. I'd rather work with children and, like, nice, calm, fluffy, gentle things. I get kind of tired of harsh interactions with parasites. It's just exhausting. So, Cancer, it looks like you have a pretty pronounced parasitic something going on. Either you've been infested, meaning you have parasitic latchings and it's affecting your interactions with other people. Those latchings have a tendency to be around the neck and ear area because of its advanced mimicry skill. It can go ahead and incept thoughts using the sound of your voice. In addition to that, there's the potentiality of you are not breached, but it's outside your field, and because you don't really know any better, you think it's you talking, and so you're more susceptible to listening to its suggestions. Or number three, you don't have a parasitic circumstance within your field, but a Trojan is being used to access you. And if you're new to my channel, a Trojan is basically something that is easily accessible to parasites, because it can't access you. It will go ahead and access this person who has access to you, meaning a coworker, family, friends, your loved one, your children, sometimes your parents, sometimes, it doesn't matter who it is. If that person doesn't have a very solidified sense of self, those people are much easier to breach by parasitic attempts. And so when they're used as Trojans, they're used to inconvenience you, upset you, really just derail all your plans consistently, and it's not really intentional. Maybe like, oh, suddenly they can't carpool with you and they didn't tell you until 5 minutes before they were supposed to arrive at your house because, oh, they didn't feel like going to class today or whatever it is. But those types of things, like inconsideration, and it's not a super duper obvious attack, but the constant chipping away at your positive energies, it stresses you out, it lowers your frequency, and then that eventually makes you more susceptible to being breached by parasitic circumstance. So kind of just observe what it is you're going through, and try to determine, is it a parasite using a Trojan, or do I have an actual parasitic latching? And once you get to the conclusion of that observation, like your thoughts on it, and you need a parasitic extraction, you need assistance, definitely feel free to contact me. and we can try and set something up. Okay. But you have to be willing to work on yourself to shift the circumstance that allowed for the parasitic to enter. All right. So I hope this helps whoever it needs to help. I hope it gives clarity for whoever needed the clarity. If you resonated, even if you didn't, please do give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already liked my channel, please do, oh no, subscribe to my channel and turn on that notification bell so you can join me every single time I'm live. All right, Cancer, I hope everything turns around for those that this is resonating with. Don't allow someone else to dull your shine. Okay. Don't forget about how amazing you actually are. So, thank you guys so much for sharing this space with me. I'll see you again very soon. Bye.